So we'll see what happens. Penrith and Eels, though, top of the second and third clash here. A cracking game. They're on equal points, aren't they, actually?
No.
2 points ahead. They could go to equal. Charlie Staines, I'm looking forward to seeing how he does actually go at one. I've mentioned it a few times throughout the year. He's looked a better player when he has drifted to the middle of the field, so that's going to be interesting. Luai at 7, Burton at 6 is interesting as well, and maybe a sign of what we're going to expect in Origin 3. Naden comes back onto the wing, Tyrone May into the centres, and Kickhouse back from his brief hiatus. And the Parramatta Eels team get Sivo back on the wing and Kafusi back onto the bench. I am going to say that I'm going to tip Parramatta in a close game. They are up and going. They have won a couple of clutch games, but they're up and going. They're not missing anyone. They're clicking on all cylinders. They've owned a couple of sort of teams that we were giving half a chance against them. And it's a chance for them to make a statement if they keep their heads and don't enter. This game could devolve into pumpkin mode on both teams because we've seen Penrith get a little bit of that when they haven't been happy, and Parramatta definitely do it when they're not happy. So if that's the game, I think it's a cracking game. I'm going to say the concern for me for Penrith is, Naden coming back in, Tyrone May in the centres, leave some holes there if they're able to exploit it. As a result, I'm saying first try scorer Ryan Madison, potentially off that kick across field or finding some space. He'll be involved either scoring or popping one just to the outside. And, well, we know if Parramatta are going to win, we know he's going to be man of the match, going to be their captain, Clint Gutherson. Barney.
I'm with you, mate. I've got the same concerns, realistically. I'm actually concerned about Staines at fullback. I know you said with his running game, he looks better playing through the middle, but I'm not sure how he's going to go under the high ball. And I'm sure he is going to cop it from the get-go, and they're going to keep going there all night. You got, as you said, Tyrone May in the centres, defensively questionable, and he's stifled their attack when playing in the halves. So I'm not sure if it helps getting the ball out to whoever his wing is going to be outside him, whether that's Naden or To'o. It will be To'o. So I don't know if they're going to have to cut him out or what goes on there. But should be a really good game. Even Penrith not at their best, they should put up enough effort to make this close enough. Could end up coming down to the bounce of a ball or a call, or I hope it's not a call because I don't want to hear about it for fucking 5 days on social media and everywhere else.
Especially if Penrith end up losing due to that call. Actually, Parramatta too. Both fan bases are just dreadful. Sorry for saying that.
It would have been really good to see the stadium full and the place rocking. It would have been a brilliant atmosphere, but obviously
I believe it was close to a half-hour sellout, which is sad.
Yeah, it was. It was. Yeah, that's right.
Tickets had people all over the place trying for tickets by various means, and it couldn't be done. Which is
just think that Penrith might struggle a little bit. It's going to take them a week or two to get used to life without Cleary. I thought they would probably actually put Burton in at 7 because I think he's got a little bit more game management than what Luai does, and Luai seems to be better picking up the tempo outside of a half. But I'm going to go Parramatta 1-12. I got going with you, man of the match, Gutherson, and I think Papali'i, he's been doing it all year. He does it every second or third game, just crashes over on the inside of a centre or the outside of a half. So he's going to be my first try scorer.
Ollie?
Before I get my head ripped off, I was, of course, generalising with my comments there. I'm not saying all Penrith and Para fans are dreadful, just some that I've seen in the past. Some. Anyway, I have the same concerns for Penrith as you guys. I echo that, but I am sticking with the Panthers here 1-12 purely because they are still the better team. They have looked better this year as a whole, and I know a lot of that comes down to Cleary, but it's not just him. Big thing for me as well. I think overall Penrith's 4-pack's better. I think they'll get it done in the end. All the talk is about Luai stepping up, which I think he has the ability to do. I mean, he and Burton were the halves combination when they beat Melbourne earlier this year, and I believe they're actually undefeated as a halves combination too. Yeah, as I said, the talk's about Luai stepping up, but I think the person who really has to step up in this team now, he's been doing it all year, but he's had Cleary there. It's going to have to be James Fisher-Harris because he's their next best player, and he's that strike, running. He's going to have to make a fair few meters and going to have to make a fair few tackles, and I know that's expected of a forward, but I mean, his importance to the team has just skyrocketed. And also he and Tom Trbojevic are currently neck and neck for the Dally medal. I think now Tommy's going to win it, but it's just to hype him up a bit. Ivan Cleary should be saying, if you have a big effort these next few weeks, Nathan Cleary, Nathan's out, Turbo's going to be getting 3 points every week as well. But if you keep putting on 3-point performances, who knows by the time we get there. And I'd love to see a prop win it. I'd love to see him win it. But overall, and you've got your Totos coming back and your Origin players coming back for Penrith. I also have a feeling after all this Origin talk, Moses might not have the best game, especially because he's not known for having good games against big sides. I've also noticed in the past that whenever a player comes out and says, I'm ready for Origin or I'm ready to be picked, one comes to mind to Vita Pangai a couple of years ago when they put their hand up.
Remember when Blake Ferguson came out and said he was the best centre in the comp?
Mm-hmm.
And Leilua's done it as well.
And they got shredded the next week when he played in centre at Parramatta.
Yeah, so I'm a bit worried about that for Moses. But anyway, enough dribble. Penrith 1-12. Man of the match is going to have to be James Fisher-Harris, and first try scorer Brian To'o, probably scoring his first try after his run for his first 100 metres within the first 5 minutes or so.
If Luai and Burton just click and comfortably win this game for Penrith, do you think Freddie thinks about it?
It's not out of the realms. I actually think it's closer than people think. Because I was actually thinking about myself that yes, it's potentially this could be a trial. On the Moses thing, this could actually be I'm not saying he is a chance
Big
or
game for
play
him.
himself in. All he can do here is play himself out of a spot. If he really stuffs up, then he'll just be penned. So it's actually a big game, almost the other way. But I just keep looking at the back line there, and I don't want to spend too much more time on the game because we've all said our piece. But when you really break down Staines, Naden, Crichton, and May as a back four, Tuo's going to have to run 500 metres here.
Considering what they've been putting out beforehand.
And then you've got Kikau, who's either he's on one leg or he's been a bit out of form. He's defensively has not been outstanding in the last month.
No, he hasn't.
There is some how they exploit it, I'm not quite sure. Maybe that's where Mitch Moses' footwork does exploit it. But that sweeping Gutherson play where he has the 2 touches run around, that could be the play on the night. He loves that little first ball out and then runs around and gets the ball out to Sivo. That could be one of the plays for the night that they look through that. And the Para Pack's hot, so it's an exciting game. I'm looking forward to seeing just what's under Penrith's bonnet here because not quite 100%. We've seen him knocked off twice, and this is a test.
Well, speaking of Penrith's backline, the 1-5, the only real big concern for me is Tyrone May. But for the rest of them, Staines, when he's filled in at fullback this year, he's looked all right. It's not more a concern more than a question how good he can be at fullback. Brent Naden, when he was playing first grade last year, he wasn't too bad. I haven't seen.
I remember last year there was the defensive concern. That's why he didn't play the grand final.
But that is true. But his strike and attack, speaks for itself. And I haven't seen him too much this year in New South Wales Cup, but getting that opportunity, especially headed to a new club next year. Stephen Crichton as well, that he's a great centre. He's proven that he's not a great fullback, but he's there as well. And Brian To'o, not much needs to be said about him.